Thanks again for tuning back into the channel. In this week's video, we're going to be looking at a technique to make your ICM images pop. Now, it's not a new technique by any means at all, but it's just one that I know I haven't covered in any of the other editing videos. And it does add just a tiny bit of finesse to your images if you're looking for that. I actually quite like it for architecture, and I also do like it for single subjects, but it actually works for everything depending on how you apply the technique. So without further ado, let's dive right in. This is not the technique itself. This is just having a quick summary of using Camera Raw or Lightroom masks to enhance your image, and just using them to bring out details and to draw the viewer's eyes into certain elements within your ICM image. So there you go, you can edit with presets and use the masks and everything to enhance the images, but you can take it that little bit further, and this is how we're going to do it. For this method, what you have to do, even if you just shoot your ICM in JPEG, you have to shoot a normal static shot so that you can take it into Photoshop for this edit. Now, I'm working currently from Capture One into Photoshop here, but this also works for Lightroom and any other packages. Once you've set up your main image, what you do is you take the static shot and overlay that in Photoshop. As you can see here, I'm just checking some of the images to see what ones I'm going to use, and finally I actually settled on this one, and it's simply because there's a touch more light within the image. Open this one in Photoshop as well, and you then have your two tabs. Once you have your two tabs open, take the static image and drag the layer on top of your ICM image. Once it's in there, you can match it up as best as you possibly can. I turn down the opacity just so that I can see it slightly. I also, which you don't see here, is I enabled snap in my view so that I could snap it into place. Once it's in there and once you're happy with the positioning of it, for me, I used the background elements there. You see the small rise in the land just behind the tree. I used that as my kind of base point to match this up, but you can use anything at all within your scene. Once in place, I look through the blending modes to see if any of these would do it automatically, but for this image none of them did. So what I did was I created a hide all layer by clicking on the mask button and holding down Alt at the same time. This would enable me to paint in the areas using the brush. Depending on how you want to work, you can set your opacity and flow to whatever you want, but I painted in the areas that I wanted to emphasise. Now, this would bleed onto the original ICM image, but you can tidy that up because you're using a mask. At this stage, it does provide the emphasis, but if you want to just make it punch that a little bit more, what you can do is you can scale up the image and match it in as best as possible, and then clean up any areas that you do not want to see. And this is just one simple method of making your images pop. Another method for doing this as well is just to make certain areas of the image pop, as we did in the previous edit there, but it just depends on what the subject matter is. For instance, this one with the architecture, I think actually worked quite well, and allows you to create detail within the image and draw the viewer's eyes in. Again, using blending modes can provide impact to the images, and it just depends on what you want the end result to be. Using masks, hue and saturation as well can also Again, emphasise certain areas, and you can experiment with this to get the final effect that you are seeking. Combining all your editing prowess to bring out certain elements in images is another way of doing it. So that's whether you're using masks, hue saturation, and focused edits within your images. Hopefully just with these simple techniques and just deciding on what you want to stand out within your image will provide you with enough creative ideas to edit your ICM images. Hopefully you get something from that, and hopefully it lets you see just another way that you can make your ICM images pop. It's interesting to try. Remember, there'll be different blend modes that will work better with others, and if you have to, mask it out and paint it back in. I'm actually, apart from just now, I'm actually back out in location recording another few videos, and both of them I've been sent a couple of filters to test out, and I'm enjoying testing both of them. So those reviews and images and techniques for using them will be in upcoming videos. Thanks again for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.